Matthew McConaughey, the charismatic American actor known for his distinctive Southern drawl and laid-back persona, has taken a significant legal step in the modern era of technology by filing trademark applications to safeguard one of his most recognizable catchphrases, "All right, all right, all right." This three-word exclamation, which has become synonymous with the actor's identity over the decades, first burst onto the scene in the early 1990s when McConaughey delivered it as the character David Wooderson in the cult classic film Dazed and Confused. In that memorable scene, Wooderson, a perpetually youthful slacker hanging around high schoolers long after his own graduation, leans against his car and utters the phrase in a relaxed, almost philosophical manner that perfectly captured the film's vibe of aimless youth and nostalgic rebellion. The line wasn't just dialogue, it became a cultural touchstone, repeated endlessly by fans, quoted in everyday conversations, and even woven into pop culture references across television, music, and social media. Over the more than 30 years since that film's release, the phrase has stuck with McConaughey like a second skin. He has embraced it, incorporating it into interviews, public appearances, and even his personal brand. It appears in his motivational speeches, his memoir Greenlights, and various roles where his signature drawl adds authenticity and charm. The words carry a certain rhythm and optimism, "all right" repeated for emphasis, suggesting acceptance, resilience, or simply going with the flow, that resonates deeply with audiences. McConaughey himself has often reflected on how the line unexpectedly defined much of his public image, turning a small moment in an indie film into a lifelong association. Now, in an age where artificial intelligence can generate voices, mimic celebrities, and create deepfake content with startling realism, McConaughey is proactively protecting this piece of his identity. He has submitted multiple trademark applications to the relevant authorities, with approvals granted for several of them in recent times. These applications cover not just the spoken phrase itself but also specific audio clips associated with it. One notable example is a 7-second video segment showing him standing on a porch, delivering the line in his characteristic relaxed style. Another is a 3-second clip of him seated in front of a Christmas tree, adding a festive yet casual context to the utterance. Additional audio elements include variations where he says, "Just keep livin', right?" followed by a thoughtful, a brief pause and then "What are we gonna do?" These snippets capture the essence of his delivery, the pauses, the inflection, the warmth, that AI tools could otherwise replicate without permission. The motivation behind this move is clear: to prevent unauthorized use by AI systems and applications that might exploit his voice or likeness for commercial purposes, entertainment, misinformation, or other ends. Deepfake technology has advanced rapidly, allowing anyone with access to sufficient data to synthesize celebrity voices for ads, videos, or even malicious content. McConaughey's action is part of a broader trend among public figures who are increasingly concerned about the erosion of personal control in the digital age. Celebrities from musicians to actors have voiced similar worries, with some pursuing right of publicity claims or voice-specific protections. By trademarking the phrase and associated clips, McConaughey aims to establish legal grounds to challenge any AI-generated content that uses these elements without consent, potentially blocking apps, platforms, or developers from profiting off imitations of his iconic delivery. This legal strategy reflects a thoughtful approach to intellectual property in the AI era. Trademarks traditionally protect brand identifiers like logos or slogans in commerce, and applying them to a spoken catchphrase tied to a person's identity is innovative. It could set precedents for how performers safeguard their vocal signatures. McConaughey's filings include 8 separate applications, indicating a comprehensive effort to cover various contexts and formats where the phrase might appear. The process began a couple of years ago, with initial submissions followed by reviews and eventual approvals, demonstrating persistence in navigating the complexities of trademark law. Beyond the legal technicalities, this development highlights evolving attitudes toward celebrity and technology. McConaughey has long positioned himself as more than just an actor. He's an author, a philosopher of sorts, and a family man who values authenticity. Protecting, all right, ensures that when people hear those words, they connect them to him genuinely, not to some algorithm's approximation. It preserves the human element in an increasingly synthetic world. Fans who cherish the phrase from Dazed and Confused reruns, his Oscar-winning turn in Dallas Buyers Club, or his roles in films like Interstellar and The Wolf of Wall Street will appreciate this effort to keep his voice his own.